tears and watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. In my stare, there's a ring around the moon tonight.
Cross a bridge, through the field, climb a tree, watch the sunrise.
Open up the lights, clean the glass, wipe away your tears and watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. One more time around we go. One more time around we go. This story isn't over. It's the only one we know.
Cross a bridge, through the field, climb a tree, watch the sunrise.
Open up the lights, clean the glass, wipe away your tears and watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise. Watch the sunrise.
Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone.
If we haven't met, I'm Allison. This is my husband, Gerald.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Together, we're known as Infinitely More. And today, we are talking about sunrises, sunsets, and all things big sky.
Yes, indeed.
We are so glad to welcome you to the third concert in our Infinitely More's 10th anniversary Cross Canada online tour. This is the third in a series of 5, and this is our Big Sky celebration, the celebration of the time that we have spent touring Manitoba and Saskatchewan. And we're so glad to be able to bring you this concert from our home
Yes.
here in St. Catharines. We're here with 2 very active little puppies.
You're going to hear crawling. You're going to hear little claws on the floor and stuff like that. It just means you're in our living room. That's what it means.
In our home.
Yeah.
So we're glad that you're with us. And we also want to give a special shout out to Canada Council for the Arts for supporting this online tour.
Awesome.
And for all the great work that you're doing to support artists during this season.
Yeah.
A very special part of our concerts has always been fundraising for different outreach projects in your local churches, and we wanted to make that part of this tour. So today we are raising money for the St. Therese Institute of Faith and Mission in Bruno, Saskatchewan, and we want to support their scholarship program.
Yes, and we'll be talking more about them later.
We will indeed, but right under this video you're going to see a link to a virtual tip jar. Please give as you are able, and we will send you some free songs as our gift to you. This is how we sing Psalm 31.
Into your hands I commit my spirit, deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. Under your wings I will live, protected, deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. shelter my soul craves. You shield me from my shame. In your righteousness I am saved. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. Under your wings I will live, protected. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. My faithful God.
Please hear me, O Lord. Turn your ear in my direction. In my sanctuary, the fortress of salvation.
Into your hands I commit my spirit. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. Under your wings I will live, protected. Deliver me, Lord, my faithful God. My faithful God. My faithful God. My faithful
Amen.
Amen.
I love that. So if you watched our promo video for this concert, we talked about one of our very favorite moments that happens when we drive west. We're driving up, when we leave here, we go right up through northern Ontario, and it's all Canadian Shield. It's like hilly and rocky and trees and dense, and it's like that for such a long time. And you're driving and driving, and if the border comes, you're driving, and all of a sudden that ends, and the sky bursts open, and suddenly you're in the prairies. It's like you
Crazy.
go through a curtain. It is the first time we did it. It took our breath away, and it's honestly one of our very favorite moments of the tour. And it has no segue to this next song, only to say that the God who created details of beauty like that is the one who walks with you every step of the way. I weep, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk where you walk close to me. Wanna sing with us?
Just a closer walk with me. Rest in Jesus is my plea. Then I can close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be.
Through this world of toils and snares, if I falter, Lord, who cares? Oh, if me my burden shares, nothing, dear Lord, doesn't bother me.
Just a closer walk with me. Rest in Jesus is my plea. Then you Not a song we do very often anymore. It's a song we've done for 15 years almost. One of those songs that you can pull out because it's such an incredible, incredible song. You can do it any different way. So we got a little rockabilly with it. Anyway.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
So we drive across this country. You know, we've been doing this now for 10 years. It's a big country, and yet sometimes we're so interconnected. We mentioned in one of our concerts how one winter we did a musical residency in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. And we would do this ecumenical service, and people would come from all different churches, which was amazing. And we had a group of students who would come from St. Stephen's University. And they were wonderful. And when they found out that we were going to be traveling west, they said, "Oh, you need to go sing for our friends at the St. Therese Institute in Bruno, Saskatchewan." And we said, "Where's Bruno?" And so we got in touch with St. Therese and the folks there. And Bruno is this small town of about 600 people.
Yes.
And right in the middle of it is this beautiful building that houses an extraordinary community. The St. Therese students, they do academics, but what makes them really special is the community that they develop there. It's all
and the faith works that they do
and
there.
the faith works that they
Absolutely.
do. It's all based on the teachings of St. Therese. I did a message on her last year, and her teaching of the little way. And the community that develops there is so special. And the first time we went,
when you meet these kids, you think they're going to go out there and change the world. I mean, that's like it's almost overwhelming. You end up with this. You walk away in this deeper sense of your own purpose because you've been in proximity to them. And one of the things that we figured out while we were there was the reason was there was this old wooden sign that was above the door, and I asked the priest who runs the whole thing what it meant. It was just the words, "I am third. I am third." And this song is the story. Hallowed halls with student voices, humble hearts making deep choices about what their lives are going to be. The priest
tells me what he teaches them each day. The school has a motto, and on that they pray as he points above the door, so I can see.
There's a wooden sign held up by time, 3 simple words. I am third. God is first, others are second, and I am third. God is first, others are second, and I am third in the order of the word. I am third. As the sun rises, they sing out God's word. They pray and question everything they've heard as the fire burns the meaning in their hearts.
The quiet keeps the world's noise at bay. They hear his voice as it deepens their faith, and they will always remember where that
Thank you.
And as I say too, I know that if all technology works, that the students are watching this, and I
Yes.
just want to say hello, and we
Everyone.
love you, we miss you,
Yeah.
we're sorry we can't be with you this year, and that for those of you who are just starting this year in your studies, we're just praying for you all, because we know it's a different year, but a special year. When we go, we always do a concert, but we also always do, or Gerald particularly does, a songwriting workshop with the students.
Yeah, and in this instance, and again, Alice and I was writing, so I'd actually just finished a song the morning a few years ago, because we've been there, we've been able to visit there a number of times, which is just such a blessing. And anyway, so I finished a song that morning, and so I was doing the songwriting workshop with the kids, and I told them, I just finished a song that morning, and they said, well, you have to do it, and I'm like, I don't think I could. I don't think I could play it. Oh no, you have to. Oh no, you have to. Oh no, we really. So I went. So I ran after the workshop. I ran through it a couple of times. Anyway, they were the best audience, just so fantastic, and I don't regret doing it at all. Anyway, because the song is called "Unraveling My Wings." And it is such a blessing when we realize in our heart what God's purpose is for us, and we finally supplicate our will to the will that God has for our lives. Unraveling our wings. There's an angel who waits inside of me. Use me, Jesus, to comfort the afflicted. With your grace we can save a broken soul. Wipe away the tears of the addicted. Feathers fall as we take flight. We're trying to pick songs. We're just about to go back in the studio, and that one's kind of on the precipice, but we love it anyway. We've got about 50 or 60 songs that we're trying to choose between. So.
Well, and speaking of songs, it's time for my favorite part of the concert.
Yeah.
It's the new song spot. So I'm going to get a cheat sheet because this one is super new. So as you know, every concert we try share a new song, and in these concerts we've been sharing songs with you that Cheryl's been writing throughout lockdown. And Sunday, a new song came into the house.
Yes.
It was like the smell of fresh baked bread. It was just like, there's something good in here. Yeah. And so we have a brand new song that we wrote. This is actually one we wrote together. And I'm going to put lyrics up because I would like to sing it for you properly.
And me too, it helps. We actually got, with 5 concerts of different material that we're doing over this period of time, and also culling down songs for recording. There's a lot of songs in the head, so if we lose a lyric, please allow us a little grace.
But here's what I love about this song. So something neat about songs is that they can be born out of a season, and even though this is not directly about the pandemic in any way, in a season when so many of us, I think, feel surrounded by illness and fear and worry and anxiety, I love that this song reminds us that God's goodness and generosity are always around us. God's love twinkles o'er us in the clear night sky.
His love blows around us in a breeze from on high.
That love like a rock holds us steady from below. His
Love is around us, always around us. God's love is around us. This I know. This I know. God's strength runs through us every time we breathe, and His strength touches our face when we struggle to believe. God's strength holds our hands when we're tempted from below. His strength is around us, always around us. God's strength is around us. This I know. This I know.
God's grace whispers to us when we're tired and unafraid. His grace will remind us we are wonderfully made. God's grace will embrace us when grief takes us low. His
Grace is around us, always around us. God's grace is around us. This I know. This I know. God's love twinkles o'er us in a clear night sky.
His love goes around us in a breeze from on high.
God's love like a rock holds us steady from below. Let's try this. We did the key change. Yeah, all right. So here we go.
New song.
God's love twinkles o'er us in a clear night sky.
His love goes around us in a breeze from on high.
God's love like a rock holds us steady from below. God's love is around us, always around us. God's love is around us. This I know. This I know.
we're
There you
lip
go.
syncing it, and
You feel like part of the process now, don't you? Anyway.
there we go. I love that song. I love it. I've been singing it all week.
Yeah, we figure it's kind of a cross. Throw it to the Maritimes. It's kind of a cross if Great Big Sea and Stan Rogers had gotten together and written a worship song. So
Nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with that.
So I would call this a newish song. This is one that Gerald has written in this season. And as you know, we love songs about light, about God's light in the world and God's light moving through us.
Less of me, more of you, dear Lord, in everything I do. If your intentions drive my heart, then the fire in my eyes will have your spark. Shine through me with your grace, shine through me with your love. Make me a lens that magnifies your holy light above. Let everyone who sees me learn to look right through the most beautiful I'll ever be. 'Cause if through me they see you, if they see you, by your will, my life is won. By the Lion and the Lamb, the Father and the Son, all right across the sky, every word you've said, and they'll know that it's you because it's written in red. Shine through me with your grace, shine through me with your love. Make me a lens that magnifies your holy light above. Let everyone who sees me learn to look right through the most beautiful I'll ever be. 'Cause if through me they see you, who hungered yet feeds us all, who pray yet answers our prayers, who wept yet dries all our tears. You, our Savior, who had died so we can rise with you. Shine through me with your praise, shine through me with your love. Make me a lens that magnifies your holy light above. Let everyone who sees me learn to look right through the most beautiful I'll ever be. The most beautiful I'll ever be. The most beautiful I'll ever be. 'Cause if through me they see you, if they see you,
I love that song too.
That one's definitely going to be on the next recording. So, yeah. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
one of the really special things about getting to travel the whole country is that we really get to connect with a lot of different songwriters and artists who are all in the different provinces. And we mentioned this last time. There's a lot of great independent Christian musicians across this country, and I encourage you to seek out the ones in your province and offer them some support right now, because it is a hard time to be a musician. And we want to do a co-write right now that Gerald did with a really talented writer out of Winnipeg named Jaylene Johnson. She is super talented, and if you want to bless yourself, go get one of her albums. But she what? Potter and Clay?
Yeah. Oh my
Potter
gosh,
and Clay.
Potter and Clay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fantastic. So good.
So she and Gerald got together and wrote this song. And this is kind of a magical thing about songs that I find, is that they wrote this song inspired by a very specific story in Jaylene's life. And when Gerald played it for me, I said, oh, Gerald, you wrote my story. Because this song also speaks to a very specific story in my life. And maybe this song today is going to connect in with your story. And as we've been working on it this week, I've thought about how tired everybody seems right now. You know, it's been 8 months since we started lockdown here in Southern Ontario. People are tired and frustrated, and I think in the beginning we had a lot of energy to praise, and now I think people are just struggling. And the Bible reminds us that we don't actually need to do all this on our own, that it is God's power working in us that allows us to do infinitely more than we can ask or imagine. That we can do all these things, but through Christ who strengthens us. So today, if you find yourself without strength, without energy, and wondering where you're going to get a call, know that you do not have to do it on your own. If today all you have is the strength to whisper hallelujah, know that that is enough.
I'm a speck in the desert, a breath on the wind, an offering so small from a heart that's worn thin. The earth is a chorus I want to join in, but I've lost my voice again. So I'll whisper hallelujah with the rocks and stones. I'll whisper hallelujah till life comes through these bones. These bones.
Now I'm at the end of all I can do. But you are the start of everything new. There's a jagged trail of suffering and loss, and it's leading me to the foot of the cross.
So I'll whisper hallelujah with the rocks and stones. I'll whisper hallelujah till life comes to these bones. I will whisper until I can speak. Then I'll speak until I can sing. Then I'll sing so loud. Even the rocks
So, when we first started driving across the prairies, people said to us before we left, "You're going to be so bored driving across the prairies." And I'm happy to say they were wrong.
Yeah, like when you get swallowed by a sky, apparently that's boring. Apparently
boring.
When you see limitless fields of gold and green undulating under the waves of breezes, apparently that's boring.
Also, when you see like a rainbow and then you get to watch it for like an hour because it doesn't be for that long.
Yeah.
Or when you're in Dauphin, Manitoba and you're watching the sunset and you're like, that's amazing. And then you realize it's somehow setting over here too. I don't know how that happens, but that's...
Sundogs, I call it sundogs.
There's sundogs, we've seen sundogs.
Yeah.
And what I love is like, you'll be driving and it'll be like flat, and then all of a sudden there's like this cloud of birds that like burst out of the field, and suddenly it's like this swirly madness, and I love that. And Albert E. Brumley was a farmer in Oklahoma and a man of faith and a songwriter, and he was out working in his fields one day and saw one of those clouds of birds pop up, and he thought, one of these days, when Jesus calls, that's gonna be me.
Ha ha. Some bright morning when this life is over, I fly away to a land I got to let you show. I fly away. I fly away, oh glory. I fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by.
Woo, that's such an awesome song. We hope you were singing along with us.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we're almost at the end of our program.
Yeah, and I have to say, like when we did rehearsals for this, I was kind of, I was tired. I'm getting a little older now, getting a little older, right? You do some of these songs 5 times in a row, and you take a deep breath.
We're so glad that you came and joined us for our Big Sky celebration. We want to remind you that our next concert will be November 7th, and this is going to be our Rocky Mountain Party.
Yes.
We're going to talk about our times in Alberta and BC and some special songs and stories from that. So please mark your calendar for Saturday, November 7th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We want to thank Canada Council for the Arts for supporting our online tour. Again, we're so grateful for what you're doing to support the arts. And we want to remind you, please, as you were able, give generously today. There's a link below this video for our virtual tip jar. All donations of any size are welcome, and any size donation will get you a copy of our free EP called The Beautiful Promise, which is something we recorded just in this season. And so we'd love to be able to send that as our gift to you today. I think that's all my little notes that I have
Yes.
to say thank you for.
All right.
So we got this all pumped up. We
That's
hope you
right.
can sing in. So get up and dance and clap
Yeah.
and sing.
And again, as Allison says, we love adapting psalms. This one, actually, we're so blessed. It was nominated for Gospel Song of the Year 2 years ago at the Covenant Awards. This song is called God's Mighty Name Saves Us. 1, 2, 3, 4. God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, the same God who made heaven and earth. God had not been for us when everyone was against us. We would have been swallowed by their violent anger, swept away by the flood of rage and drowned in the torrent. We would have lost our lives in that wild raging wave. God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, the same God who made heaven and earth. Blessed be our great God. He didn't go and leave us. No, he didn't abandon his doves to the pack of snarling dogs. We've flown free from their fangs. Their grip is finally broken. We're free as a bird can fly. God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, the same God who made heaven and earth. One more time. God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, God's mighty name saves us all. Israel sing out. Same God who made heaven and earth. Yeah, the same God who made heaven and
God bless you, everybody.
God bless everyone.